the little rabbit head.
It's time to go to bed.
And a one fish, two fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. That's probably looking all right. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. That's probably looking all right. And a one fish, two fish. All right, sorry about that. Not that you actually, I hopefully you didn't hear that. Doesn't look like. Sorry about that. All right, let's check the YouTube. Hear that? Doesn't look like. Sorry about that. All right, let's check the. All right, YouTube sounds good. Twitch sounds good. My volume level looks about right. Let's do a little bit more work on the sneakers today and maybe add a server's apron pouch. I got this add-on for doing laces. I'm going to make a couple of changes to it. And yeah, something like that. Hold on, my brain stopped. Here we go. So we left off with the shoes. I brought the socks in. I think I'm going to make the socks part of the shoes, and then we can just easily hide those. Because they're not real socks. They're just fake socks, right? So we're going to do that. I'm going to add it to the shoes. I have this lace add-on generator. I'm going to make a couple of tweaks to that. And so I think I'm going to replace these with my own geometries, and I can't see anything. There we go. So we're going to do that. I think I'm pretty close to being done with the modeling on the shoe. I've tweaked it a little bit. I think that's going to be good enough. It's supposed to be just like a simple athletic shoe with some bunchy socks. I got to do a little bit more work on the socks, so we can do that. And I'm going to tweak this just a little bit. That is using GeoNodes to generate. So I think I'm going to redo this. And then swap that one out for mine. Same thing. I think I'm going to redo that, swap it out, and redo that just a little bit. So actually, let's start with this one. This is the easy thing to update. So I'm just going to make I want a little bit different shape than what we have here. Although that works pretty well. I kind of like that. But here, and you know, not just like a simple torus, but I want to make some changes to it. I'm going to pull, if I pull these out, I think if I pull these out, delete faces, and then I'm just going to pull the whole thing down a little bit longer so that it clips in. So maybe we do that, and let's see, did that change? So if I hide the shoe here, dum dum dum, I should have labeled the shoe, right? There we go. I like that shape a little bit better. We're going to convert this to geometry, and we're going to edit this a little bit. I also got to edit the shoe a little bit to fit the laces in a little better. So I think we're going to do that. So anyhow, I'm happy with that. I'm going to redo this maybe. Is there anything? I am going to redo that a little bit because I'm going to tweak that geometry to be a little bit more mine. So this is going to get weird. Shift A. Let's drop in a cylinder. Let's make you a. This should be doing crazy shit to the shoe. All right, you can see all that weird bumpy stuff. Anyhow, I'm gonna put that. We're gonna put you over here. We're gonna zoom in, scale you some more. I'm gonna line you up a little bit on that. This is gonna become the eyelet, so I'm gonna use my eyelet versus the pre-made one. Got to be a way I can load that thing in so it centers better. All right, so that's probably going to be good. Yo, Charles, how are you doing today? So let's take you up there. Let's bring you down here. Let's delete that. Let's fill that in with a grid fill. It's face grid fill, isn't it? There we go. It's probably going to be good enough. I'm going to do the same thing. Actually, I've got a face up here, don't I? I can't see it because it's hidden underneath this thing. So I'm going to move that out of the way for just a little bit. I'm going to get rid of that. Select that. Actually, I think I want to put a loop cut in here. Right about like so. I'm going to just add another loop cut down there. Now we're going to grid fill. Excuse me. Now we're going to grid fill this in. Should be good enough. Scale it up a little bit. That's going to be my version of the eyelet. Control L, Control I, delete the original. And there we go. And now when we look at this, I got my eyelet there in there instead of the other one. I'm going to tweak mine a little bit. I lost a little bit of shape when it sub'd a bit, didn't it? So I think I'm going to put a little loop cut. Or actually, I'm just going to bevel this just a skosh. Should be good. I'm going to put a little bit of a bevel on here. Just like that. I'm also going to just add a teeny little bevel on the end. Same thing. Actually, more like a chamfer. How you doing, Charles? I don't know if anybody's here. Well, you are. That counts. Bevel that is good. All right, now let's see how this thing's looking over here. See, that's a little bit better. I'm going to live with that. Okay, so I've updated. I've replaced that with mine. That is mine. I think I might redo the knot, so I'm not using the pre-generated one. So I think I'm just going to go look for a simple knotty thing. Are you all one? Let me take a look at what we got in here. Is this all one thing? It is not. If I put another one of these in here, I want to try something. If I take that, you're doing well, enjoying the second day off. Second day off? Dude, how did that happen? That's almost like semi-retirement. Imagine that, being semi-retired and actually getting days off. I'm going to look for knots. We're going to go to the knots online. Knots. Illustrated. I think I probably animated knots by Grog. So basically what I just want a simple knot of the day. How to tie a tie. We're just looking for the basic knots. What do they call the standard shoelace knot? Shoelace knots. I go to images here. There it is. A simple one of these. Except we will start on the inside. So I'm just going to take that. Maybe, can I just drag you right there? And I have made knots before, but basically we're going to just take this, loop it around and come out. And then I'm going to flip that or reverse that. So here I'm going to, let's do, what do I want to do? Do I want to just start this? You know what? Let's put you over there so I can still see chat. Come over here. Let's do an add. I'm going to block this out with a line first. Let's add a single vert. We'll start with that. Add a single vert. There we go. And down, around. Okay, so we're going to make a simple loop. Come around, back, and out. Okay, got it. I know that probably made no sense. And you know what? I'm going to start you over there. And then we're just going to do an extrude, and you're not extruding because I am in object mode. So I'm going to put you back. I'm going to tab into edit mode, move you, extrude. I'm not seeing it. Did my extrude not work? There it is. Extrude there, there, there. You should be down a little bit. Bring you back this way. Through here. And then this drops out like so. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate that, flip it, and then we'll move some stuff back and forth. So let's pop in here, select all, Shift D, R, Z, 180. Excellent. Let's recenter you back. So you kind of end up looking like that. Is that where that goes? Almost, almost. Kind of like that. Why is it when you use your software to put sort content on your third-party content, does it put them all in props? I don't know. Because it's cursed. Is that it? I think I'm going to convert this to curves right now. It might be a little easier to work with that way. So I can put some thickness on it. It makes it easier to see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do, object, convoy, decoys. It does really well on everything else, but when you put a character through it, it always puts it under props. I wonder what is it about characters is it recognizing? All right, so we got a curve. I'm gonna this is just to make it easier to see what I'm doing. We're gonna do this round profile thing. That's way too thick, isn't it? That's better. This kind of gives me a feel for what I'm doing. We'll smooth it out later, but for right now, I'm going to start like that. And this goes over. So we tab in, and that's going to come out a little ways. I'm dragging on the wrong thing. So that comes out a little bit. You can actually go in there and tell the smart content set up, but I'm not that smart. Yeah, that's the way I do it, but then again, I don't have to do smart content anymore. Because I have somebody else who does that for me now. I need some more points in here. You know, we'll subdivide those. And then I know this can come back over here. I think these can come this way. That, I think, I'm dragging the wrong way again. That can probably go over there. And then this comes this way. Do both of those go that way? Nope, one goes... Where do you go? You go through here and under. I probably should just move them back and forth and call it a day. But I think you come over here. You're going to stay in the middle, actually. And those are probably fine. I can probably just pull you a little that way. Bring you all the way out over here. These are probably fine through here. These ones, I have to actually, you know what? I do have to kind of pull. Here, I can do this. 1, 2, 3 are those. Let's get pulled back a little bit. And those are going to come forward a little bit because those have to kind of travel on top of each other. And then I have to readjust everything else. Smart Chris would have. Because I can't see anything now. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm looking for right there. You come out over here. You got to go back that way. You get to come back this way. And you two, you're probably good. You should probably go over here. Can I bevel these? Control Shift B. That would be too easy, right? Yeah. Dang it. And I think that's good. So let's look at the other side if I can find the end of that. There it is. Okay, so where do you start? So that one is this right here. So it's in the back. So I'm just going to move you back here. And that means you get to be pulled out here. These three starts to go that way, and then that goes further that way. You are pretty much in a good spot there. So you know what? I think I'm kind of okay, except I got a little bit of janky right there. So let's put a subdivision in there. So I could just tweak that a little. And then if I had to do that, I probably need to touch up something like that one there. Put a sub D on that, so we can kind of move that around a little. Maybe put a little bit of sub D on there. Get that over there. A little sub D here. Put you over like that. I don't know, I'm probably in the ballpark here. So let's just scale everything, but not on the Y. Scale Shift Y. And then we just tighten that all up. And now I'm going to convert you to curvy things. And then we'll kind of try to figure out how to replace this with that. All right, select all. Let's switch over to spline type to Bezier. And then we switch the handle type to automatic, so everything's all nice and coivy. Excellent. Tap out. Look at it from the front. Move you over here. So I'm going to kind of size this to kind of fit that shape a little bit better. And you're at a weird angle. Are you rotated or anything? You actually are. You're rotated like minus 12 degrees. Why? I don't know. But you know what? We're going to match that just to be safe. And you know what? I'm just going to match all of these. Was that a Y? That is a Y. And that Z is at 0. So you were a Y. You were a 0. Now we're going to look at you from the front and just, hey, that looks okay. Now just kind of get these bows and these ends to kind of line up with this stuff. Because I'm slacking that way. All right, that's good. And then what? Probably got too much stuff in the way side to side. Yeah, it's going to be a little trickier. So I think I'm good there. That's relatively close. So put you here. Put you over here. Put you in over here. Bring you down a little. Flatten you out a bit. Do the same thing over here. My nuts not lining up quite right. It's probably going to be okay. All right, and then we'll just kind of pull these to line up a little bit better. I think I can repoint the curve to mine versus the original. At least that's what I'm hoping. And I lined up with the wrong one. I think I need that in there. So that's going to be my curve. I think that's pretty close. Let's see how this works out. So we're going to come back to this thing. Here, I'll show. I think I turned the shoe off. We'll get the shoe back in here so we can kind of get a feel. So that was the shoe. That is not the shoe. That is the wrong shoe. That is the shoe. That needs a little bit of work to get that sock fitted in a little better. I thought I had you a little better than that. And then I got to make a little bit of... I don't think I'm going to use a displacement map on the sock like it originally was. We're going to actually add a little bit of a extra. We're going to model the depth on that. The sock's not going to be deforced. So I think if I take this... Where's the lace thing? It's in properties. There it is. So I think there's a way to swap that out. I can probably join mine with the other one and then delete the other one out. But I'm wondering if this just points to a curve and then I can just repoint it to the curve that I'm currently using. Tie guide. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. What are you? You are tie curved guide. So if I can find that, I can replace it with the, here we go. I don't know, bow knot. Right. So back to this. So is that tire curve guide? So if I swap this out for bow knot, that's not too bad, but the whole thing's freaking backwards. How come my normals are flipped on that? And that's impacting the way the direction this is heading in, isn't it? And can I just lose? I think what I have to do is I'll probably have to combine this with the other one. Let me try something. I'm going to duplicate that and see if this still works with that. So if I, okay, so that still works. You're setting one up now and it puts it under people, Genesis 8, actor, character. Isn't that where it's supposed to go? Or because it was doing props and now that you're annoyed about it, it's going to do it right while you're talking to me? Is that what it's up to? Let's edit you. So I'm going to turn that back off. And actually, if I do that and that, if I remember correctly, you think it always puts it like that, but for some reason it always winds up under props. I need to be able to spot this more easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move these ends. And that's going to make it easy to grab these. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that and select that. And then Control J. And then let's see what we got. Is it just weird looking now? It is. But it's the right way of weird looking. So if I tab in, I Control L that and delete it, and pop out, how are we looking? Yeah, we're kind of getting there, I think. So we pop in, and if I Control L that and I delete it, it's not quite working. I wonder if there's a... Here, let's hide the other one. Can I just combine these and will that fix it? Why are you not doing anything? Why do I have so many breaks? Oh, there we go. Can I just join you two? Maybe just merge you? No. So does that do anything? Nope, it's still broken. Hey, Rod, how are you doing? I'm playing with curves. All right, well, let's try this. Let me see if I can adjust this. Where am I? I'm trying to make a shoe, and I've got this add-on for doing the laces. And it could be a little better. Actually, it's pretty good, except I'm trying to uh, redo the geometry on it. So let me switch you back to, so let's go ahead and make a copy of this again. I'm going to hide you. I'm going to select you and select you and select you and um and let's repoint you to the other thing. Probably won't be here long. Monday equals errand day, but well, hello, Mr. Shelley. Always a pleasure to catch you, buddy. So let's repoint you to, where did it go? To that. Maybe not. Let's try that again. Nope, it's still broken. I done broke it. I done broke it good. Oh, you're missing part of your geometry. Is that my problem? Oh, there we go. Okay, was I just pointing at the wrong thing? I don't have my eyelet coming off of here. That's a little annoying. It's time to put it under saved files, which isn't as bad as props, but I don't have that much in that folder. I mean, can you just, I guess you can manually change it, but you want to actually, that's not the reason for having a piece of software to do it for you. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why I'm only getting one of these. I'm just going to have to manually, I think I'm just going to manually stick that in there. Um, and then what we'll do is when I convert it to curve, I can clean it up. I want to try to tweak this a little bit. It works very well for 90% of. Mm-hmm. Oh, you still haven't learned that part yet? Ooh, that kind of works. So the tricky part here is I'm trying to pay attention to what's going on over here while clicking on bits of this. And every time I move something, everything reorients. Uh, so it's hard. I guess I could split the window. Let's try that. How do I split a window again? I don't know. Split vertical. There we go. And then I think what I can do is I can zoom in over here, and then I can zoom in over here. And this way I can kind of see what there's my clipping. I'm clipping now. I can't see what I'm doing because we're clipping. Let's change the clip distance to something that allows me to actually see what I want. There's a point right in here somewhere I want to try to grab. And that's not it. Maybe that's it. Yeah, that's it right there. And that just maybe, yeah, can I just maybe delete you? That helps a little bit. I like that a little bit better. And then what we want to do is kind of pull this stuff out a little bit further, I guess. So maybe that, and that. And just kind of, and I think this is the one that I really, I think I just need to tilt that one. How are we looking over here? I think maybe I'll put a little bit more tilt on here. And maybe rotate you a little bit. Do I have another point there? I do have another point right there, don't I? You know what? I think I'm going to leave that one like that. I'm just a little bummed I lost the eyelid on the other side. That means I'm just basically going to have to copy this. Okay, I think this is going to be good for my laces for now. I got to do a little bit more work on the shoes because apparently I can't see all of it. So what I'm going to do is I want to cut the tongue out on the shoe. So where am I? I am in edit mode. Let's get out of edit mode. Tab. Let's select you. Tab in. We're going to put a split in here. And then pull that down so we can see this and actually maybe pull it out a little bit. So hard to see, but I think there's an edge right through here. That looped around, so that's not what I wanted. I'm going to turn the sub-div off because I can't see what I'm doing. Also, I think I'm going to hide the what are you? You are lace flat. There we go. I'm going to hide you. We're clipping into the foot, so I'll have to fix that at some point. I think I just need to put a split on this. Is it edge? Split. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same over here. And I don't need that split anymore in my scene. Also, I don't need this anymore, my asset browser. Yo, Emerga, how are you doing? All right, let's put a split in there. I'm making shoes. Yum. All right, let's put a little proportional editing on that so when I do this. Actually, I'm not going to do that. And now I'm going to have to redo the laces a little bit, but that's okay. I can't tell. Yeah, I grabbed the wrong one. I'll turn proportional editing off because you're now in the way. There's a point in here that I'm trying to click on, but it's on top of that other point. So if I can move you just a little bit out of the way, I can then grab you, bring you down like I wanted to. Got to do the same thing over here, and I got the wrong point again because of course I did. Bring you down a little bit like that. And then I got to kind of do the same. Hey, you moved nicely. Good. Bring you in. And there's another point right about there. So we set you down. So the idea is to get these laces to loop under that. Yeah, I'm doing well today, thanks. And what was it? Laces flat, that's what it is. You got a little out of hand, didn't you? There's a point in here. Just gonna pull you out like that. So we're almost there. Then I'm going to convert this to a mesh and just tweak it so it looks a little bit better. Also, one of the eyelets didn't generate because of the way I swapped out the mesh, the curve. So I'm going to take this edge here and we're going to expand it. And then I'm going to work. You know what? Let's put a split. Actually, I can probably do this. So what this is doing is using nodes to generate this lacing along a plane. So I can add these extra little doohickeys in here. You kind of got off to the edge there. Bring you out. Going to bring you out so that it kind of rolls that back up. Maybe if I pull that out, this one down here starts to pop back in again. Adjust you a little bit. I've lost this one. I'm going to have to manually pop in there and tweak that a little bit on the rotation. You got, because I was tweaking things. Maybe bring you guys out a little bit. I think that's going to kind of work. All right, let's finish the tongue up. And I got to start chopping material zones up on this thing. I think we're going to do that. Parts of a shoe. Sole edge, sole, upper, and maybe tongue. And ankle. I think we'll do that. And sock. I'm going to combine the sock with the shoe. So let me separate this out. Let's hide the stuff I don't need to see. So lace flat, we're going to hide you for right now. I'm going to pop into here. I'm going to, you know what, I do want to pull these edges out on the tongue just a little bit. So I'm going to tweak that top one. Chris can't see what he's doing over here. I think I got the right one. So we'll extrude that. And this needs a little bit of work to pull you back. Same thing with this one. Probably good. So that's going to be tongue. Have I started materials yet? I have not. How do you spell tongue? Is that tongue? Did that not? That did not. I gotta hit this. That's right. You gotta do the thing. All right, gotta roll. Catch you tomorrow. Hey, take care, Rod. Always a pleasure to catch you, buddy. Have fun with the errands. Sorry, brain stopped. It will be back. Shoe underscore tongue. Lots of fun, yes. All right, let's hide that. Let's here, this is just going to be the sole. Sign that. Go ahead and hide that. Want that, and that. And then we're just going to expand that just one little click. And that's going to be the sole edge. That's what I'll call that. Hey, is that art? Hey, Chris, they must think I like Velveeta. Who doesn't like Velveeta? That's why. Seriously, fake cheese. What more could you want? And welcome, Art. I hope you're doing well today. Uh-oh. Ah, Blender broke. There was no reason for Blender to do that. Let me see if we got a recovery. I don't have a recovery. File, autosave. 1452. That's not too long ago. We'll see what that looks like. Okay, I didn't get my materials saved. So we got to redo the materials. Did I get my tongue spread out? I did get the tongue spread out. I think I see, or maybe not. No, we didn't even expand the tongue. So we're back to that. I'm going to save this back to where it belongs. File, save as. You belong. Why are you not in my recents? All right, we got to navigate projects. I think this is under MPG, and then I keep forgetting I can't just type in letters and find things. With Blender, I have to actually scroll down and look for it. I'm so used to just navigating through directory trees by typing in letters, but Blender isn't falling for that. MVP server, there we go. Whip, and you know what? I don't see you in here, but I'm going to save you in here. You're probably actually in shoes, aren't you? So let's hide that. Let's come back into here. Yep, I lost, so we're right here expanding the tongue. So pull that out that way. Bring it back down this way. Grab that and adjust it so that it sits underneath. And then we're just going to do the same on the other side, basically. More or less. Chris, why is it that half of the Genesis 9 hairs don't load? I don't know. I wish I had an answer for that. Are you loading them on Genesis 9s and they're not working? Because if they did them as hierarchical material files, those are really particular about what you apply them to. So if they saved those with the hair on a Genesis 9 and you wanted to use it on a Genesis 8, they would barf on you. Well, not barf, but they just won't work. Because a hierarchical material pose file is going to go, all right, I work with Genesis 9, and you are not Genesis 9, so sorry, dude. That's one of the downsides of hierarchical material files. Is they're finicky. It's a Genesis 9 loaded on a Genesis 9. So that's not it. And every time you click on the hair preset, it doesn't change the color. It does nothing. How evil. All right, so I don't have a good explanation for that one. I would have to actually look. Maybe I have one of the hairs. And we can take a quick look at that if you want. I'm going to pull these out. You have an explanation. It's Genesis 9, being Genesis 9. It's CS Slick Glamour Hair for Genesis 9. Let me take, I'm not sure I've got that one, but let's see. CS Slick. Sleek, that's my problem. I don't have that one. Oh, and it's also designed for whatchamacallit. I don't know. Is there any weird notes? Lightweight, versatile. Does it have like a hair cap and a hair? And are you selecting the actual hair? Perhaps it's trying to load it as a Genesis. I don't think so. If you're using smart content, it should say the difference between a material for 8 and a material for 9, right? Otherwise, they're badly named, and Daz shouldn't have allowed that. I'm not saying that that's actually the case, that they didn't allow it, but they shouldn't have. It has a haircut, a hair cap, and the hair, but the only place where the base color and all of the things that have it mapped on are under cap, and you've tried both, and none of it loads color. Yeah, I can't say without being in, and I don't have that. And do I have any of this merchant's products? Cleric and Second Circle. Let's not hide the items I own. Let's bring those up. Do I have any of these from? I actually don't. I don't. My buying has been eluded muted. I'm not gonna lie. So I don't know. I'm not sure how they set it up and why it would work. I mean, if it's not working, it just means that it's overly complicated. If you have to, honestly, you should just be able to click on a thing and make it work. When you go under hair or the other part, there's no base material. There's no map. Yeah, it's not a strand base hair, is it? But I mean, still, the material file should work with it when you select it. I don't know, Charles. Not sure. If you select the Genesis 9 and try the file, does it do anything? It should make a difference though. It's lightweight, it's versatile, and simple to use. Available in any color as long as it's black. Isn't that? I'm sorry, Charles. I'm just not sure how that was set up and why it would be doing that. Okay, I'm doing material zones, right. I'm going to hit save as we go along this time. It's not my first rodeo. I know it's not your first rodeo. That's why it's annoying. You know all of this stuff nearly as well as I do, if not better. Um, and I'm trying to think how could I set that up so that it wouldn't work. So that's and hierarchical material files is the only way I could think of to do that to get it to not work right. And you're using the Genesis 9 here with a Genesis 9 figure, and this doesn't actually say if it uses hierarchical materials or not. The hair is gray and the color will not change. Does it? And it's just not a preview thing, right? You've rendered it and it still looks the same. Okay, you're going to be a Shu Tongue. Actually, let's make a material called Shu. Let's make another material called Shu Tongue. You've not tried doing a render. Okay. It's just I don't know. It's not strand based, right? It's actual geometry. Is it deforced? I don't know. You just like honest to God, these details are so sparse. That's it. That's everything. Oh, and I couldn't even post all of it, but still. Um, oh well. Um, Shu Tongue, assign that. Let's give you a color since we're here. Come over here. Looking good. I've got these creases in here. I want to get rid of them. Through here. And I want to do the same thing here. And then I'm going to remind myself to save. Let's hit save. All right, let's select that and let's hide it. And then we can move on. You know what? I think I'm going to call that ankle. Shu ankle. One should be good. Let's make a new material for that. Oh no, it's doing it again. This is going to be a little tedious if it keeps crashing every time I try to change the name of a material. You know what I can do is I can go back to the last good version. I think it's probably the 4.5. So I'm going to just slide back into 4.4. We'll just use that for today. Also, I don't have the latest version of 4.5 installed, so I'll probably update that. Anyhow, let's do this. Let's do file open. Open recent. Probably not in here, so I just want to do an open. Don't save. Let's go to projects. Let's go to MVP. Go into the whip folder, and there's the aerobic shoes. Should be good. So good thing I hit save as my last thing, right? So we're going to make a material here. This is going to be Shu ankle. I want to apply that to this. Switch over to that there. expand that by 1, assign that, give it a color so we can see what we've done. Yay. All right, let's do the sole. I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm just going to put the sole. I'm going to try that. I'm probably going to regret this. I can always take that out later. So we're going to add a new material for that. Before I do this, I'm going to hit save. Overwrite file with older Blender version. Overwrite it. Hell yeah. Shoe. So, sign that. Let's give it a color. Okay, and then this. I'm going to call that Soul Edge. Actually, expand that by 1, right? Clickety, new, material, shoe, Soul Edge, Soul Wedge. Let's try Edge. Let's assign that. I've got some weird capitalization going on in there. Let's fix that. Give you a color. Let's go to shoe. I think I'm good. I want to add some thickness on here. Let's do that. Dun, dun, dun. So I just want to extrude these edges just to give that tongue a little thickness. I think I'm going to curve that out maybe too. Did I get you all the way around? I think I did. Yep. So let's hit an extrude. Pull you back and push you down a little bit. Probably good. I probably should have curved this shape out first. That's okay. That's probably going to be fine. Let's put my sub D level back on there. I think I'm good. Let me tweak the sock just a little bit. So I think I'm just going to scale that in and just bring it down a little bit. So I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to put a little bit of a break on that. And that should be good. That gives me that little thickness on the thock now. Should be fine. At some point. Am I happy with that shoe? I think so. I'm about at the point where I think I'm ready to add turn the lace into a actual geometry and tweak it around a little bit. I've got a material on there. I'm probably not going to keep that. So I think we'll copy you. And do I have... I think I rolled back the sub D on that, didn't I? Do I need to roll back the sub D on? Yeah, I need a little bit of sub D on that. What do you do? LDiv. What's an LDiv? I don't know. Is that... I think I'm going to keep that. All right, I think we'll make a copy of this, convert it to a mesh, and then we can tweak it a little bit. So I'm going to Shift D that. I'm going to hide you. Here, we'll do the convert to, is that in here somewhere? There it is. I see it. Convert to mesh. Alrighty. So I want this over here as well. Control L. And Shift D. And just bring you. I'll just try to line that up. You know what? You're kind of lined up not too bad there. Maybe rotate you a little. I'm going to put you kind of like that. You know, these, I probably should have set my seams before. Oh well. Mark seams, probably fine. We're going to use substance, so I'm not going to get too crazy about spending too much time getting the seams just right. Seam. So let's put seams on that. Did you loop all the way around? You did. Put a seam on that. So actually, let's do that and that. And mark seams on those. You're doing Jessica Chastain model, so you had to pick up a decent hair. I'm not even sure whose that is. Oh my god, I don't know the hot chicks anymore. All right, let's mark a seam there. I think that should be good. Did you loop all the way through? Not all the way. How far did you go? Did you come through here? I don't think you came through here. You did. Or you should have. Oh, wait a minute. Do I see? I don't see a seam running through here. That's a great movie, Rob Schneider. All right, let's do some proportional editing, and then we're just going to do, and I'm going to, yeah, let's do that. Bring you down a little bit. Right, let's position the eyelets with proportional editing before we do anything else right now. I think I'm just going to bring that up a little bit. Probably close enough. Let's see how I think this one can probably be a little bit better positioned. Just can't see what he's doing. Probably fine. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. That one really needs some work, doesn't it? Hey, Quasi, how are you doing? Everybody check out Quasi. Super cool cat to hang out with. We're doing shoes.
Hey, bud, let's party.
Oh. All right, I think those are good. Now we'll work on the on tweaking the laces some. Hey Chris, check out the DM you sent. You a picture. Okay. Dum dum dum. I'm not familiar with her. Okay, so eyelets are in place. Let's move the laces around a little bit. Fix that up. Now I'm going to switch my proportional editing to connected only. And the idea is to kind of get this stuff under here. But I just have it sitting under that lip, kind of like that, I suppose. That's good. That needs to be dragged down here. That's kind of good. That's a little janky. Is that any better? That looks a little bit better. She was in the movie The Martian. Okay. I hate to admit it, I still haven't seen that movie. Oh, it's supposed to be really good, right? It's about potato farming. Wasn't that it? And like Triumph the Insult Comic Dog would say, for me to shit on. No, I'm sorry. Oh, that's fertilizer. All fertilizer. I thought it was poop potatoes. That's right, poop potatoes. And that's why I have a comic dog reference. Those are looking good. How are you guys looking up here? You could be a little bit better. So, you know what? You can probably stand to come down a bit. And then we should just get that under that lip, like so. Probably good. You know what? That one looks fine. It's not perfect, but I might be able to live with that. I think I'm about ready to combine this with the... I'm going to flatten those eyelets out a little bit. That's kind of bothering me, just a pinch. Is there a way to rotate off axis? I always can never quite get that. Where's the view tools? So I want to... It's like the way you rotate yaw and pitch. That's what I need. I need to figure out how to yaw or pitch Blender yaw camera or something like that. Roll the view. I just need the button to hold while I do that. Control Alt middle mouse. Is that it? That was not it. Let's see if we can find it in Edit Preferences, Key Bindings. Nope. Pitch. Nope. All right, let's see. 3D view. 3D view global. I know navigation. Orbit and pan. Yeah, I'm not quite seeing how to do what I want to do with the view. You can do it in DAZ, and I've accidentally done it plenty of times. Do I have? Wouldn't it be convenient if there were like, oh, maybe it's over in here somewhere? No, those are, let's tab out of edit mode. So do I have views? No, these are object manipulators. View. Quasi one. I'm trying to roll the view. I don't want to rotate around. I want to roll the view. And it's something I like all these years using Blender. I've never really had the need to. So what I want to do is roll it so that I can straighten that out, and then I can scale it on view. So that's what I'm trying to do. I guess I could, I'm in a camera, right? No, I'm not in a camera. Am I in a camera now? Nope. And then, of course, I'll need to reset it back. I believe you can, but you never had to do it. And I know it's one of those features where I normally don't need to do it. Actually, you know what? No, you're not. I'm just going to have to cheat it this way or something. So what I'm going to do is just rotate like that. And then I'm going to just have to put it back. And now I'm going to, and we're going to do this on view. And the R is X, so we're going to scale X. So what I want to do is I just basically want to flatten that. And then I'll just put this back. That's close enough. And then I'm just going to do the same thing over here. So I'll just kind of rotate you up that way. And then rotate you around this way. And come back to here and scale X. So I wanted to just do that. And then I'm just going to put you back like that. And then just put you back like this. So that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to squish those eyelets just a little bit. Or not the eyelets, the things on the ends. There's a name for that. I always forget what it's called. I have a workaround. Okay, am I happy with this? I think I'm happy-ish with this. Let's set up the UVs on these. Let's pop over to UV editing and see what we've got here. You know what? That's not too shabby. I always forget the way to grid fill these things out. But you know what? I can probably not worry about it and just get by with substance. What are you and why do you look so weird? Let's try to fix that. UV Pack Master, adjust TD to unselected. That did not seem to do anything, did it? What are you, though? What parts of the mesh do you think you are? Why are you still selected? Oh, you need some UV mapping on you. That's what your problem is. That's why you're so janky looking. Let's put a seam on that. I need a seam on here. There, that should probably take care of it. That's better. Oh, and this one needs a little bit of loving, don't you? Yeah, you need a seam on you too. You got a seam on you. Why are you not? You sort of have a seam on you. You're a bad boy. Let's try this again. We're getting there. I'll just do the minimized stretching. That seems to sort of get me a little bit more in the ballpark. Nope, you are still not happy, are you? You have a seam. Why are you looking so goofy? You have like a closed end or something. Did you just not loop all the way through? Is that what your problem is? Oh, I see what had happened. Yeah, let's mark a seam there. What about the other end? Are you also... Nope, I think that's probably good. Nope, you're still... All right, here, let's clear seams. Let's hide the other shoe. Apparently it's added some weird geometry in there that's not letting it just loop select all the way through. Shoe gun. So here, let's do this. Let's clear seam, and we'll start on one end and work our way around. So I'm going to mark seam there. It looks like it went all the way through, didn't it? Control L, U, unwrap. All right. I think I'm good. I don't know why that wasn't working before. All right, I got the laces untied. So that's going to be cool enough for that. Let's combine. Let me check the sock and see how we're UV mapped on that. This has probably got some default UV mapping left over from Marvelous Designer. So I'm going to live with that. We'll go ahead and seams from Islands. So I have a seam right there. I have a seam right there. And I've got a bunch of other weird seams. You know what? We're just going to clear seam and I'll just put one in the back. And why did you not go all the way through? Because it came from Marvelous Designer. So of course it's a little janky. Dang, dog. You know what? I probably should just live with my seam. And also, I don't need this one. We're going to mirror this puppy. Did you go all the way through? You did. All right. Let's do that. And I'm just going to mark the seams, and I'm just going to live with that. So we'll do the image. Was it UV? Nope, not average. Seams from Islands. There we go. Should be good, right? Although I probably should select and then do it. And I have no idea why I got all these little doohickeys in here. So I'm going to undo that. But apparently that's a nice clean seam right there. So I'm just going to mark that. It'll be fine. What if I don't know why it did that. You know what? I probably should just not mess with it. I'm going to just leave those like that. We're not going to re-UV map this. I'm just going to put those over there for right now. All right, and then likewise with this. Nope. And I'm just going to stick those over there. All right, now we're going to set up the shoes. Yes, leave it like that. It's going to work. It'll be fine. Trust me. Would this face lie to you? Of course it would. If it was funny or if there was a profit. Where's my shoe? There's my shoe. All right. We can do this. Here, let's do. I can do this by material zones, I think. I'm kind of set up for that. Shoe. I'm not going to do that. Shoe tongue. Let's select that and UV map it. And we'll do this and that. I'm just going to put you over there for right now. My phone made noise again. Nothing I have to worry about. All right, let's come over here to shoe ankle. Select that. Oh, that's the sole. All right, let's put a seam in the back of this so we can. Do I want to put a seam in the front? I think I'm going to try a seam in the back. 1, 2. And can I select that? I missed because it was too small. And then we'll mark that seam. And yeah, let's just try that. Select you. Unwrap. And I'm still in. And we'll put you over there for right now. So I think I will put a seam through here. So I can mark seam there. That should all be shoe. So if I select that. Probably good. If we select the sole. That's looking good. Did I get everything? What are you guys? I thought I got you. I guess not. I didn't do the ankle, did I? Probably good. All right. Let's I think no. Let's mark seams from islands just to make sure that they're there. Then I'm just going to remap that. Probably good. We're going to pack that later. It's probably fine. Let me apply the layer, the one level of subdivision on this. Okay, and then pop in here, and then we'll remap that. No, I don't like that. That's probably going to be the best. So I'm about ready to combine this with that and that. I might actually want to add another subdivision level. Let's take a look at what our densities look like on these. That's really dense. That's not as dense, and this is the least dense. So I'm going to add one more level of subdivision to this and then combine everything. And then we can UV map that all together. And I think then I'm about ready to start thinking about getting it over into another program. Just figured out old man nap I'm supposed to be taking. Oh, you're just fighting the old man nap. I'm sorry, Art. I think I want to pull these down a little bit, though. So I'm going to do a little bit of proportional editing and just kind of drag this stuff back a little. Let's just go back to layout tab in. Right there. I do have proportional editing on. All right. So I can just kind of maybe just drag you all down a little bit further. Oh, I know. Why is my Control Z not working? Oh, there it goes. I want to switch you to not be connected. Let's hit save just in case. Actually, connected was better. Doy. Connected only. I think I'm going to live with that. So let's add a sub-D modifier on that. Or maybe do I need to want to back up to this? I probably can't now. Are you still creased? You still have your creases on. Yay. Or are those seams? I don't know. Let's put the level of subdivision and see what I need to do. Generate. Nope. 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 Generate subdivision surface. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and go with that. Let's apply that. And then let's maybe go ahead and join all of these together. Actually, let's duplicate them first. Let's put them in a separate collection. I'm being optimistic. We're going to call that final. Okay, let's hide all the other stuff. Let's Control J those. And you're going to be MVP shoes. Server shoes. Let's do that. All right, let's what do I have? Oh yeah, you're not supposed to be there. So you look good. You're still fitting. Are you still on the foot, or do I have to? You're not clipping into the sock. You are clipping into the sock over here. I've got some weird little clips over here, so we're going to fix those. Just a wee bit of proportional editing there. I'm going to just grab this corner here and move both of those at the same time just to get that out of the, dang it. I'm going to hide you. is I need to use proportional editing, but I want to not have it connected so that I move this stuff out. Like that. And then Alt H. And now I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. All right, we put a mirror modifier on you. I'm in the wrong thing. Over here, add, generate, mirror. Looking good. Let's fix these UVs so they just sit in half of the... Can I just UV map everything? I think that's fine, except that my socks got remapped and I didn't really want that. So let's just select everything but the socks. And then what I'm going to do is we'll adjust the just those. I'm going to set up my box. We'll use a non-square packing. No, custom target box. That's what I want. Custom target box. Edit target box. And I want my target box to be right about there on half the map. And we want this over on the left side of that map because we're working on, well, when I'm looking at it, it's this shoe here. So I'm going to put that over there. Should be good. All right, Mr. Packmaster, do your thing. There we go. All packed in one nice, neat half. For the mirror modifier, I'm going to make sure that we do the mirror, the UVs on the U. So when we export this out, there'll be mirrored UVs over here. So I think we're good. Let's set up some materials and maybe get this over into Substance, and maybe we can quickly drop it onto a Genesis 8 or Genesis 9. And then later on, I'll refit it to a Genesis, whatchamacallit, 8. That will come later. Okay, back over here, hit save, select that, hit export. I'm going to clear that material off of here, though. Let's do that. I don't want that. I'm going to... Shouldn't make a difference, but the fact that it has a texture on there is just kind of bugging me a little bit. I should rename that. Can I just rename you here? Shoe socks. And then we have the aglet. Aglet, that's the end of the thing. I'm going to say shoe aglet. Oops. And that's shoe lace. Dang it. Okay, and what I'm looking for is shoelace. And you know what? I'm going to delete everything but the base shader down here. Like that should be good. And let's make sure everything kind of has a unique... Oh, the eyelets got their own color. Let's fix that. I thought I changed you. I guess it didn't stick. So apparently I can't edit in there. That's a bummer. All that renaming I did, I think, is for naught. No, those are renamed. Eyelet material, there it is. I'm not entirely sure what this blank is. Is there anything in here? Tab into here, select that. So what did I select? Did I select anything? Here, let's turn on our statistics. Oh, where are my statistics? Are you in here? Nope. Are you over here? Statistics there. I was looking at it right before. All right. So I select that. I hit select. Nothing. Okay, so I can get rid of that. I can't get rid of that in here, though. I got to come back out here. Now I can get rid of it. Now we're good. Shoe eyelet's got a material on it. And shoe aglet. So let's go clean those up. I think shoe aglet's fine. And shoe eyelet just has metallicity turned up on it. So that's probably fine. So I'll give that a color. And I'll give the eyelet a color. Or the aglet a color. And I probably am good for this. Socks, I think I will. Yeah, let's make the socks purple. All right, now I think I'm good to go. So we're going to export this out twice for Substance Painter. And we'll take one of those versions into DAZ. All right, activate export. Let's use the DAZ preset, so I'm only exporting what I want to save. Whip, I am in the right folder because I can see pantyhose and shorts. So, you know what? I'm just going to call you server shoes. Probably good. G9. And we got materials. So you know what? I'm going to save you into Substance here. Actually, let's save you once here. Let's save again into Substance. This is going to be the one that's going to say IDs. And then we do this again without the materials. And this will say NM for no materials. Chris, you have to take off at 4. All right. Thanks, man. Yeah, we might just go a few minutes over, but I get that. Hey, Charles, good to see. As always, a pleasure to catch you, though. And everybody, make sure you're following Charles. Doesn't really stream, but he does have a cool Discord. And if he does stream and you're following him, you might get a notification. I won't because I don't get notifications. I hate notifications. Okay, this is good. Let's pop over to, so this was modeled with flat feet, so I don't have to do anything tricky to rig it. Bum 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 boing. And then I'm going to get that go-go dress submitted today. It's all ready. I just have to double check and make sure I'm happy with it. Anyhow, let's import. Let's actually put a headlamp on so we can see what we're doing. And let's move DAZ so I'm not blocking chat. Because that's rude. You are my import button. And nope. I am totally on the wrong drive. And now we're doomed. Because it's going to take its sweet time checking out what's over on that external drive. All right, we want to go back over to the D drive. The drive, projects, MVP, server, whip. Actually, I don't even need the Substance. I can come, because I saved one version up here that was good. Can I sort you by date? That would be, let's do details and by date. Although often DAZ will ignore that. Okay, I'm hoping this good. This is good. Looks about right. All right, let's rig it. Transfer tool activated. we are going to use the Genesis 9. I'm going to rig those shoes. Do I have a footwear template? I do. Genesis 9 has a footwear template. That's nice. All right, let's accept that. It does its magic. All right, let's do a couple of little things and we'll save a copy of this out. Let's pop over to surfaces and make sure that all our materials are looking good. Looking good. Let's select that. Let's put a generic shader on there. My base shader just makes it easier for me to work with. Let's do a couple other things. Let's add our sub D modifier. Edit geometry, convert to sub D, and then edit geometry. Do I want a smoothing modifier on here? I may not actually want a smoothing modifier on here. I don't know. I'm going to avoid it if I don't have to use it. So I think I'm ready to save this without textures, just as a start. So server shoes, select the server shoes. Hit that. Let's go over to projects, MVP, server, people, Genesis 9, clothing, me, MVP server, server shoes. I'm going to actually get rid of those socks because I'm just going to build this. Because I'm just going to have the socks be part of the shoes and it's easy enough to hide them. And product. Do I get the MVP server? There it is. MVP servers G9, footwear, Genesis 9. Accept that. And I have my preliminary copy saved. I'm going to go ahead and set this up in Substance, and then we'll call it a day. And so we'll be looking for somebody to raid out momentarily. But first, let's launch Substance Painter in here. And are you my Substance Painter? There it is. All right, that's Old Coffee. Okay, there's my iced tea. All right, close that. File new. New. Select. Totally in the wrong place, aren't we? Let's go here. Projects. MVP and whip and substance. And for this, we want the one with no materials to start with. And you know what? I'm going to try to work at 4K. Hopefully I don't regret this. All right, looks good. Let's bake our mesh maps. Okay, let's get the ID map baked in here. I have to use different settings for that, so it requires me to kind of redo some things here. And then we're going to load in that one there with the ID maps. That looks good. I can see the preview over there. All right, let's tighten that cage up for better fidelity. All right, bake that. All right, I think we're good. Let's go back to painting. There we go. Switch you back to not metallic. Go to material. All right, I'm going to save this and we're going to call it a day right here. So we just got this started. Charles is out of here, so take care, Charles, if you're still here. Have a good day, man. File, save as. Not Onyx. We're going to go back to MVP and Whip and Substance and MVP Shoes. Save that. And saving project. All right, let's find somebody to raid and call it a day. I appreciate everybody being here. I managed to somehow work with the blender to get it to do what I wanted. I'm hoping these shoes don't suck when I get done with the textures. They look a little wonky to me. Maybe it'll look less wonky when I get textures on them. And my socks are... Actually, the socks are getting smoothed out. Anywho. Art, good to see you, man. Rod Shelley was in the house. Is gone. Emerga might be lurking. Anyhow, let's find somebody to go raid and hang out with and do cool stuff. Where's my Twitch? There's my Twitch. My Twitch froze. I'm looking at a picture from real early in the stream over there. They sort of look like Ron DeSantis platform shoes. Oh, they're not that tall. He's got those 5-inch heels, doesn't he? 6-inch heels. He would wear 6-inch heels. You've distracted me now. That I've got these images of Ron DeSantis shoes in my head. I'm looking for somebody to raid. That's right. Let's see if any of the art friends are on, or any of the music friends. So, we're going to go down to the bottom of the list here. He thinks perhaps Stillouettes. He would look good in Stillouettes, wouldn't he? Everybody looks good in Stillouettes. Peekaboom. Peekaboom is on. We're going to go say hi to Peekaboom. She is actually gaming. But she hangs out with Krista Cripple in the mornings. So she's like a friend. Although I'm going to just check out some of these other art. I'm taking a quick peek at some of these other people to raid. You know what? I think we'll just go say hi to Peekaboom. She's pretty cool. She's playing, I think it's No Man's Sky. So we'll go over and say hi to her. So anyhow, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Next stream will be tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I think I'm going to maybe look at the next few closing projects, and we might do some stuff in Marvelous Designer tomorrow. So currently, I'm about to submit the Go-Go outfit. I have a skimpy one-piece bodysuit swimsuit outfit that's next after that. Then comes the server outfit. I have started another skimpy ass French maid lingerie, and I had a thought for something else, but it's gone now. But it'll come back. So anyhow, we're going to maybe work out some project ideas tomorrow with Marvelous Designer. Anyhow, let's go over and say hi to Peekaboom. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. If you can join the raid, that would be super cool. We have, if you're on Twitch, we have raid calls. We have sub-raid calls. I saw Quasi in here too. Thank you, Quasi, if you're still around. Hey, if there's anybody over on the YouTube, remember, like and subscribe. That would be awesome. /raid. So what does it say here? I'll just give you the quick rundown on Peekaboom. Hopefully you can stick around and say hi with the raid. And if you aren't following already, give a follow. That would be cool. Peekaboom, prior U.S. military. Now I'm a stay-at-home mom. I've been painting since middle school, about 20 years, and want to share my passion with everyone. But today she's gaming No Man's Sky. So anyhow, I hope you stick around. Thank you all for being here, and hasta la vista, baby. Just working on this episode. Cool, man.